Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Heartland here at Iowa Speedway for the Pit Road Speed Limits Racing League here as CRN's live coverage here from Iowa Speedway. The 3/4 mile, just unique little tri-oval here. It can be very, very challenging, and you see, even with the overhead shots, you see kind of the different colorations of the asphalt in the corners. You kind of want to get on those patches. It can be a too wide track through the corners, but you really kind of want to be down on those asphalt at that asphalt patch going through the corners. Get up above that. It's usually it's not as much grip to begin with, and then you throw in the marbles on top of that. It's gonna get slick. It's gonna get a little wonky out there on the outside. But all in all, I think it's a pretty fun little track here. Again, it's 3/4 miles, so it's a weird distance. It's not it's not your 1 mile. It's not your I know it's less than a mile, even if it was a mile. You may call it a short track anyway.
Yep.
But either way, it's going to be the test here for the drivers tonight for 110 laps. Carl Handwork joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, this is a unique one here. I don't know how much time you've been able to spend here at Iowa yourself.
It's a short track, so not much at all. I mean, I have some time here. It's not, I mean, it's just a little tricky track, obviously. It's not horrible, obviously, when it comes to compared to some of the other short tracks, but should have a lot of fun out here. Looking forward to seeing these, looks like 21 drivers are on the docket here for tonight. So looking forward to seeing, how they can manage this out here right now. And you can see up on the board right now, you do have Dylan Jacobs on the provisional pole with a 22.5, and with Matthew Hake with a 22.598. So 590 and 598. So very close. So the competition is going to be stiff here tonight as qualifying is over. And that's what they do here. As soon as they're done, they fast forward the session. So we are done, and we will go ahead and put up those results here just in a second, and we'll actually show you the official starting order for tonight here at Iowa with Pit Road Speed Limit Racing. And it's going to be Dylan Jacobs on the pole with Matthew Hake on the outside. Then you have Cody Brewer and Kyle Emerson on row number 2. Row number 3, Chase Bullard with Charlie Stafford. Row number 4, Josh Duncan with Tiffany Ellis. Row number 5 is going to be William O'Connor with Kent Bice. And row number 6, Alec Luano with Ron Millum. And then row number 7, Austin Wells with Kelly Akron. Row number 8 is going to be Anthony Emerson with Dylan Emerson. TJ Hanley back there in 17th with along outside is going to be Thomas O'Connor, and then number 18, and then the rest of your field here will be Richard Covington and Cody Handler. So my mistake, there's going to be 20 drivers out there tonight, but 20 awesome drivers to take on Iowa here with the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing. It should be a good one, Carl, and looking forward to seeing how they do over these next 110 laps.
Yeah, I got a chance to get out with these drivers this past Friday, running in their ARCA series, but it's pretty much a lot of the same names out there. I do enjoy the new ARCA cars, which is what they're running out there, and it was fun getting around here. And they were here at Iowa, but a little bit different with the next gen tonight. We'll see how everyone handles it. Last week we had our 6th different winner over the 13 races here so far, with Thomas O'Connor getting the win. We'll see if he's got what it takes here tonight, but starting back in the field, so he's got some work cut out. But I mean, 110 laps, plenty of time to get up there and get it done. Want to send a shout out to the not really the man on the pole here tonight, but actually on the front row with Matthew Hake, but his daughter. Shout out to Brittany Hake. Happy birthday to Brittany here tonight, and Matthew putting it on the pole. Hopefully we can get a chance to talk to him after the race, and he can give his birthday wishes as well. Maybe get himself a top spot here tonight. But Dylan Jacobs is the one on the pole here tonight, looking to try and get his 3rd win on the season. We've only had one other driver get 3 wins. We have quite a few drivers with 2 wins on the season. TJ Hanley, the only one right now with 3, but he hasn't won since Nashville back in August. So we'll see who's got the hot shoe tonight. Looking at the points coming in here real quick. On top of the boards, it is Dylan Emerson, Thomas O'Connor, Matthew Hake, Kyle Emerson and Dylan Jacobs for your top 5, but less than 60 points separating those top 5, and we still got some racing left in this season. But we got some racing ready here tonight. Pace car is off. Barney's got that green flag ready, and we are racing here at Iowa.
Yeah, good jump up front by top 4, but the 13 is going to spin the tires, and that's going to cause an early incident here. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars get involved here extremely early. So tough start trying to get the power down with cold tires.
Yeah, not sure if the 60 of Kyle Emerson just got a really good start there and got into the back of Matthew Hake, or if Hake missed a gear on the outside there, because it seemed like he got a really good shot. And he seemed to get sent around right there. So not sure what really was the case, but a few extra cars getting involved there as well. Looks like the 91, 88 of Ron Millum, and that's who the 88 there is. I thought, the 88 was Tiffany Ellis. But it looks like Tiffany got through there somewhat decently. 19 there as well. Look like Kelly Akron getting involved, but either way, it's certainly not the way they wanted to start. But I mean, that's how quick it can happen on these starts. I'm not sure if it was tire spin, if it was a missed gear, or if it was maybe just a really good start there from Kyle Emerson, and unfortunately gave the 13 too big of a shot.
Yeah, more than likely, probably got in the throttle, maybe spun the tires a little bit, and who knows, maybe a little bit of both, but slowing it up to jam them up just a little bit too much and getting a shot to the rear, sending that 13 around, causing the early incident here, as they didn't quite even make turn 1. So hopefully this is the early blooper here. It does look like somebody missed their pit stall, and that would be Tiffany Ellis, I believe. So definitely we should be watching some of those drivers. I'm having early issues, maybe some too much damage on that car, but it does look like the fast repair was used extremely early. They do have 2, I think, so using one now. Hopefully you can keep a clean race here. The short track racing, it gets tight and it gets hefty here, so let's get these drivers back on the track. It's going to be Dylan Jacobs still out front there with Cody Brewer, Chase Bullard, Josh Duncan, and Kent Bice for your top 5.
Yeah, hopefully this is the storm before the calm here at Iowa. But again, this is it's not an easy little track here. It is a short track, and even dubs you've seen on the front stretch, and the early camera angles there. It is the fastest short track in the world, and that is because of the nice little banking they got in the corners here. And again, you can run two different lines here, but really you got to pay attention to turn number 1, because turn number 1 down there on the bottom, even though it looks like nice fresh asphalt, nice fresh pavement there, it's got some bumps in it, and it's got some vicious bumps that can really send you up the track if you hit them the wrong way. And especially if you're going in there too wide, you'll be meeting your competitor real soon in the side of his door. So you got to really pay attention to how these cars kind of set into the corners. Watch out for where those bumps are and try to avoid them if possible. A couple other things here to note. The session is set up with 100% fuel here tonight. I think the tires are going to be screaming way before they actually need fuel, but we'll see how far these drivers can go. With 100% fuel, they may actually be able to technically make it the whole way, but I don't think anybody's going to want to make these tires last 110 laps here tonight. The other thing is 3 drivers did start the night with an EOL, that being TJ Hanley, Richard Covington, and Cody Handler for the field here tonight, but I already see some of them making their way up through the field. Hanley up to 12th, Covington up into 14th, and Handler in 13th, right in the middle of them right there as well. So getting ready for another restart here, or I guess, the first restart, but hopefully we get this field to turn number 1 at least this time, as it's going to be in control here by Dylan Jacobs on the restart.
Yeah, pace car in, and they're going to go start here. A little slower reaction time on the outside. Excuse me. What a time to get a sniffle. Anyways, but Dylan Jacobs off on the lead here, as they get a good start. Unlike myself here trying to talk tonight, but yeah, Chase Bullard, they're back there in second, and Kent Weiss in third. So good start from the front three, and then we'll go back. We'll check them out back behind them as they're too wide, fighting for positions.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough start there again on the outside. So maybe it's wasn't just Matthew Hake there for the start. Maybe it's a little bit slick on the outside lane as that gets real close right there, coming off the corner. So we'll see if that's a developing story here on any of these restarts. If the outside line just flat out sucks, but either way, we get some good racing, 2 wide, even 3 wide back through the field right there as the drivers can really spread out here. You spread your wings a little bit on the straightaways, but you really kind of want to file down to 2 wide at least on the corner, because you see any of these cars that misses that strip of fresh asphalt down there, you really start to slide up there, because again it's not as much grip, and then the little bit of marbles from the practice and qualifying sessions that are up there, and then eventually throughout the race you're not going to get that much grip to actually get it turned down the track.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I know the drivers do like to be in that fresh tarmac to kind of get around there. You can see somebody out there on the outside trying to get that extreme outside to work up because of 42 with Anthony Anderson. So, and typically that would be the way, you obviously keep that momentum, but the surface, the racing surface is so much different. You can see the different the changes of tarmac, going through the corners, and kind of want to stay on the newer stuff, but it's usually a little bit better, and it does a little bit better. It does a little better on the tires. So, but 42 of Anthony Emerson keeping that high line here, maybe to prove us wrong.
Exactly. I mean, there's always one. There's always one that's just got to be the Richard of the field. We'll just put it that way. But no offense to Richard Covington Jr. That is Chase Bullard keeping Dylan Jacobs at bay here. Jacobs hasn't been able to check out here at all. Really kind of a 3-car breakaway with Jacobs, Bullard, and Bice at the front of this field. They're out there about a second and a half ahead of Cody Brewer in 4th. Dylan Emerson making up that top 5. Josh Duncan, William O'Connor, Ron Millam, TJ Hanley, and Kyle Emerson for your top 10.
And they just needed that early race bumble, Carl, but they've got things under control right now. Obviously, some good racing through the field. Some of the faster cars, maybe that got put back just a little bit. Already working our way up to the field. As you can see, the 13 of Matthew Hake is already back up to P number 12. So a lot more work to do here for the rest of the evening if he plans on getting back to the front. But definitely a lot harder than just starting out from the front row there and leading the way. So just time to put the head down and just get to work here and doing just that and coming back up to the field as he's now up in P number 11. TJ Hanley, even with the EOL already up to P number 9. I'm sure we'll see that number 27 up towards the front of the field here later tonight as he's about mid-pack now. So yeah, definitely a lot of good movement here. And Dylan Emerson right now, the biggest mover though, up 11 spots, currently in P number 5 and number 6.
And you hear these drivers kind of winding it out, and I think I did hear some drivers shifting as well in these corners. And it's definitely a viable option. Not sure. Again, they got plenty of fuel, so that's one thing that you don't have to worry about. But you wonder how it's going to change throughout the race. Again, if we get a caution somewhere, these drivers are probably going to want to come in and take some tires. And even if not, I mean, if this thing goes green, if this thing were to go green for the next 90 plus laps to finish this thing out, are you going to come in for a pit stop, just take tires? No, because you're going to go down at least a lap and maybe close to 2 depending on where you're at on the track and relative to the leader. But you're going to want to have those tires. You would love to have those fresh tires, and maybe we'll see somebody kind of playing a bit of a short pit earlier on in the race and really kind of getting a lot better tires and a lot better lap times to work their way back up through the field. But right now, as it goes, Dylan Jacobs in the lead now, breaking away from the draft out there, 1.3 seconds out of Kent Bice as he's gotten around Chase Bullard, but good battle there as now Bullard is going to drop a spot to Cody Brewer. I'm sorry, to Dylan Emerson, and now Cody Brewer getting on by as well. So not sure if something's going on here with the 54 sliding back here a little bit. Maybe just got out of whack, got a little heated up with the tires for a little bit, or maybe driving a little too hard early on, because that could certainly move you back through the field as well.
Yeah, you kind of get in like a small groove and you get going and you don't realize that you really putting a lot of pressure on them tires and heating them up probably faster than you want to. It's not like they have all the fancy gauges like they do on some of the GT3 cars that kind of let you know that, hey, your tires are hot. So you just kind of feel it in the car, and when that car starts pushing and not turning, really good sign that maybe you need to back things up just a little bit and get that thing back under control, because if they plan on being out there for any sort amount of time, you can already see the 54 kind of going up and meeting the wall. So I think your assumption there might be correct there with a 54 car with heavy tire usage early on.
Yeah, and it's easy to do, especially when you get that first early caution, not even completing a turn, and you start to think, okay, well, if this is the race, how it's going to be, I may need to drive a little hard, get to this lead in case another caution comes out. At least I get to dictate the pace. But yeah, it's you got to kind of fall into the rhythm sooner than maybe you want to. You got to try and figure out how this race is going to go, how it's going to play out, but you never really know. You kind of just have to find a good, smooth pace. And we've said it so many times, it's amazing when you get into some of these leagues and some of these drivers can put down such great lap times and still be saving tires, still be saving fuel, whatever it is. It's an art form that I'm still trying to learn myself. I can go out there and I can save fuel, or I can save tires, or I can run decent lap times. But to do it all together, it's just one thing that I'm still working on myself.
I think we'd have to get back out on the track to actually start doing that, Carl.
There's that too. There's that.
Yeah, we don't get a chance these days to too much to kind of get back at it. Matter of fact, we started tossing around some ideas of bringing maybe some old school stuff back to possibly get back out there and do some stuff ourselves. But that's in the works and talks. So we'll see how those talks go as the weeks carry on. But right now, what's going on right now is that number 5 running away by 2 seconds now over Kent Bice. It's in Pete number 2, up 8 spots, but has to overcome that 2-second gap that Dylan Jacobs has put on the field right now. Cody Brewer back in 3rd, Dylan Emerson up 12 spots in Pete number 4, and Josh Duncan in 5th, with TJ Hanley now up into Pete number 6, up 11 spots. So really a man on the mission here tonight in the number 27. Ron Millen back at 7th. Matthew Hake has made his way back up to P number 8. William O'Connor in 9th, and Thomas O'Connor in 10th.
A good little run for these drivers here, as we're already about a quarter of the way through this race. So it's going to go by pretty quickly. These lap times right about in the low 24s, high 23 second range right now. The fastest lap on the racetrack was turned in by Kent Bice with a 22.63. But currently the drivers are about a good, a third of a second off of that pace. So surprisingly, Jimmy, I mean, after this many laps running on these tires, a good 25 lap run now since we've taken the green flag, the time's really not fallen off as quickly as I imagined they would. And maybe it's these drivers actually, heeding the warning of needing to make these tires last a long way tonight.
I mean, you see right here on William O'Connor, best lap being 22.9, last lap being 24.3. So, I mean, working, about a second and a half or so. So, it's, it's obviously going to add up here over time. We'll see how those numbers change, throughout the race. And I think right around, I would think somebody's going to try to just maybe at least one stop. You might have somebody out there that's like, heck with it, I'm going to do no stop or try to do no stop. I'll just take my time and be easy on my tires and I'll be good to go. If somebody's that comfortable out there, I mean, can that pit road time be enough of time saving for you to come out with a good finish? So, somebody's, I mean, there's always somebody that's going to try it. I bet you at least one person will try it. I mean, it's typical with these races, and just got somebody out there run their race, take it nice and easy. Their tires will last. I mean, obviously we know that a full tank of fuel that set of tires will last if you drive the car correctly. You're not overdriving. You're not. That's the biggest thing. You're not getting too heavy in the brakes. You're hitting your mark. So, doing everything that you need to do to conserve them tires. Tires can win a race. Quickly. We've seen it in longer races where tire strategy comes down to it, and in just a few laps, with a good pit stop, some newer tires, usually that car will tend to be up towards the front. So, but it's a good one here so far. A lot of moving around. Everybody's starting to kind of spread out just a little bit. Your closest battle's back here with Tiffany Ellis and William O'Connor, as they are going side by side. Tiffany takes to the inside there of the number 24, trying to make her way by and move into P-number 10. And it does look like that happens as William O'Connor tags the wall, slow him up just a little bit. So give the 10th spot to Tiffany. And yeah, it's a good move.
We did see a few pit stops here already as Kyle Emerson, Cody Handler, Anthony Emerson, and Austin Wells all making a pit stop. Looks like Kelly Acker now coming into the pits. To me, this is a little bit early. I mean, maybe the fuel mileage is dictating that you're going to have to make at least one pit stop. I wouldn't assume that you're going to have to make two, but it seems like that's what these drivers are doing. Now we do see Richard Covington Jr. and Josh Duncan also coming into the pits and, kind of splitting this race up into thirds, the way it seems. And it looks like we got a couple more slowing down. The 24 slowing down. Looks like the 29 or the 28 slowing down as well, but good entry there, making a pass. And just
Billy. Black flag by Stafford. Too quick coming into the pits. He'll be penalized for that one as the flag just came up. So nice. We thought maybe he'd get slowed down, but not quite. Good try though.
Thrown right away, and a heck of an effort for sure for the 28. But gonna have a penalty for that one. Going to be a 40-second hold for the 28 of Charlie Stafford. A few more coming in. Looks like we got Chase Bullard in there, Ron Mellum, Alec Luno in here as well. So, yeah, I mean, maybe a lot of these drivers are taking it as a two-stop race. Thomas O'Connor, Matthew Haig pit on lap number 2 since they were involved in the incident there. So they may be able to stretch this thing out a little bit more. But at the front, your top 5 have yet to make any kind of pit stops. Dylan Jacobs, Cody Brewer, Kent Bice, TJ Hanley, and Dylan Emerson right now your top 5.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put the distance between the leader and the rest, and you could see all but there's only 7 people on the lead lap. So everybody that's pit is at least 1 lap down. Emerson and Ellis only being 1 at the moment. I'd say Ellis might go 2 down by the time she gets going at full speed. Excuse me. Wow.
Had some issues over there.
Yeah. Is my cat around here or something? Making me sneeze. Wow.
Maybe allergic to corn. I mean, we're out here in corn country here in Iowa, so maybe it's a corn allergy. But either way,
short tracks, Carl.
That's what it is. There it is. There it is. That's obviously the culprit.
Yeah.
Surprised you're not breaking out in hives since we're here in one of these
might need some Benadryl.
Well, as it stands right now, a great run here from the start of this race. Had that early caution right there on lap number 1 involving some of the leaders, but they have since gotten all fixed up and certainly recovered back into this race as your front row driver, Matthew Haig, made an early pit stop to get a little damage repaired. He's back up there in 7th position. And then who is it now? I forget. I think it was the 91, and Ron Millum wasn't involved in that one. He's made a second pit stop here on lap number 36 and back out there. But everyone, I'd say running clean, but we've certainly seen quite a few drivers up there and scraping into the wall on eggs, and what a heck of a run there by the 7 on the inside. And give you an idea, well, that's what new tires look like compared to the 12 here of Cody Brewer. You see easy pass for Josh Duncan to move around. Granted, not for position. He's trying to get back on the lead lap. But, I mean, it's quite a big difference right now. Josh Duncan ran a 23.64 And Cody Brewer, the one he just passed, ran a 24.36, so a good, half a second difference in between new tires to old.
Yeah, and I think the undercut's going to work well here, at least from the get-go. But I think these drivers that are shooting for making this a one pit stop race are going to maybe come out on top, because they won't have that added time of a pit lane. You can see how far the drivers are going down 2 laps.
Hold that thought, Jimmy. We've got a caution. Looks like
that is
Chase Bullard involved.
Yeah, let's go back and catch to see what happened to Chase here. Looks like he's just getting a little bit loose there. Yep, gonna get up into the wall. Nope, he's the 54.
Yeah, he's a 54.
Let me go in a little bit closer for y'all, because for some reason it wanted to jump to the blimp here tonight.
Right there. Not sure what happened with the 60, but really slow off the corner for Kyle Emerson, and gets together with the 54 of Chase Bullard. Hard impact on the inside wall, and I'm sliding back up the track. I don't believe I've seen anybody else involved in this one, but you see a lot of damage to the front end of that 54, and it puts everyone in a tricky little predicament here, because all the drivers that have already come into the pits, quite a few of them are a lap down. So you may not want to come in and take a pit stop here, but all the top 5 drivers or the top 4 that have yet to come into the pits, they get to come in here and get a free pit stop, come back out there. It's sitting in the catbird seat, to say the least.
Yeah, there's a few drivers that are going to make it out on this one here, and the ones that decide to stay out are just that. And that is the beauty, I guess, or pain of short tracks. So if you can hold on to your tires and stay out a little bit longer and extend your run, and if you're in a league where that cautions can happen every now and then. I mean, obviously you had one right before this at the start of the race, so obviously a possibility to have a caution here. Cautions normally happen at short tracks. Sometimes you get them to go green, but very few and far between. So good call there by some of those drivers. Some are going to get at least 1 lap back as they stay out, and that's probably the call that they need to make, because now we have at least 4 drivers that are only 1 lap down, and they'll be battling for that lucky dog position. So that will be between Emerson, Ellis, Covington, as for now, but as we are still lining up and still under caution. So we'll see how it all irons out here right before the caution flag or the lights go off on the pace car. But it looks like Dylan Jacobs is going to continue to lead here tonight, as he was out to a little over 2-second lead. That lead now gone, and he has a few, you see right here in front of Dylan, got a few cars waiting to get back on the lead lap and back to the rear end of this field here, and try to stay on there. And hopefully another caution will come out for some of them, and they'll be able to, at least maybe one of them will get back on the lead lap here. So they are good to go here, just waiting. Let's see who is up to the front. I'm not sure. I can't quite see the lights in the car.
Well, now the question is, how far can they actually go? Because we've seen drivers trying to stretch this thing and make it a 2 pit stop race, and we've seen the other ones that were still out there maybe trying to make this a 1-stop race. But now that 1 stop is going to be a lot further, because we're not at the halfway point. They made their pit stop. Are they locked in now? Can they make it all the way to the end? Or are they going to have to go into ultra save mode? Or is that just straight up not a possibility? Well, we'll see how this thing all plays out. I want to send a shout out to all the fans out there in CRAN Nation. If you haven't done so yet, hit that thumbs up, that like, and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRAN has to offer. As we've got plenty of racing action. I know we got a couple of series off right now, getting ready to start up another season. But I mean, we are hot and heavy and plenty busy here on Core. As once we're at our full peak here again, we'll have 8 different broadcasts in 5 days. So if you like racing, you're certainly at the right spot here at CRN.
Yeah, and it's not just being Carl. We do have a couple other hosts out there, and one even returning back from after a pretty long hiatus. But we're gonna get back under green here as Dylan Jacobs gets on the loud pedal, and a way to go here to start things off on the beginning of lap number 50. Gets out front over the number 12 of Cody Brewer. That start up towards the front as well. So still has some defending to do, but because here comes the number 27 of TJ Hanley, worked his way from the back up 14 spots, sitting in now P03. Thomas O'Connor up 14 spots in fourth, and Dylan Emerson as well up quite a few spots there, sitting back there in P number 6. But we have a car going around here.
Ron Pelham.
Yeah, it does look like Ron. Go ahead.
Sideways, looked like too much damage there to the Crown Royal number 91, but we'll take a look at the incident here one more time.
Change this camera before it bothers me. So we're watching Ron Millum here as coming down here. Let's see what happened.
I think just broke loose on its own, shot down to the bottom of the apron, and tried to save that thing, slid up the track, and about the 54, just sneaking by. Nothing to worry about here for Chase Bullard, just easily going right by it. Even the 19 of Kelly Akron just getting by as well. So a single car incident here going to bring us under another caution. And now, Jimmy, now we get to that halfway point, and now it kind of gets really interesting as to what do you do? You just came into the pits on lap number 46. Do you come in here again? Is it close enough to be able to make it all the way to the end on fuel from here? I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is. But if I'm William O'Connor, if I don't know how many tires they get, but if I'm going in and getting new tires, if I have to need a drop of fuel, I'm getting it. Like if I'm the last guy on the lead lap, I'm coming in. I'm coming in. Because you're gonna get back up there to restart after you pit, after your pit. But I can see a few drivers obviously trying to get their lap back. But a few people in right now. Got Richard Covington in 11th, down a spot. Maybe doing just that, getting fresh new tires. Maybe stayed out for that wave around, and now is their time to kind of get him in. And he wasn't getting a lucky dog, so going to come in, get your fresh tires, and now they are good to go. And now just waiting to be maybe the next one for the lucky dog. But yeah, Dylan Jacobs still will be out front. It's going to be Dylan Jacobs, Cody Brewer, TJ Hanley, Thomas O'Connor, Matthew Hake, all the way back up to P number 5, bro, after that rough start here at the beginning. So half a race so far and plenty of time to do it, like we said. So we just got to be patient with these short tracks. And the driver's doing a great job avoiding each other when something has come up.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I mean, you seen on the first incident, there was like 5-6 cars involved in that one, but this last one here, some good wreck avoidance, just barely from both the 54 of Chase Bullard and the 19 of Kelly Akron. But we'll get this thing back underway, and we'll see again who's got the hot shoe. But we're going to be pretty much at the halfway point when we get this green flag here. Once again, Dylan Jacobs still in lead, holding down that top spot, does not want to give it up to anybody. Cody Brewer going to start on the outside. TJ Hanley, Thomas O'Connor, last week's winner, and Matthew Hake in the top 5 here once again. So good bounce back for the 13 here, trying to get it done for the birthday girl out there for Brittany. But we'll get the 1 to go here, and once we get the green, we're going to start the second half of this race.
So we'll hop on board here with the number 13 to see how things go back from the inside here and the start. We'll go ahead and take that tower out of the way so y'all can see everything as much as possible. Maximum visibility here at CRN, trying to do cover as well. And like Carl said, just a huge shout out to all the fans out there. Flower Station, GHG, Porky, who's else out there? Barry, Nathan Curtis. Yeah, that's about it for now. That's said something anyways. I know there's more out there watching, so if you got a favorite driver, put it in the chat. Give them some screen time. Let them know that you're out there watching here tonight, and we'll definitely carry over your wishes there to the drivers out there. But we're green as they start here, and Dylan Jacobs gets going here with a nice start on the inside and get out to a nice early lead there. Kind of habit of the leader usually to get a nice start and usually come up just a little bit, take that if they were to get a run away from them, the driver. But TJ Hanley already on the prowl there, looking to get by Dylan Jacobs, but you see him hit the apron and obviously slowed up quite a bit. That's a bad line, bad corner. I mean, it happens. You know, it's you try to get everything out of it, and just the apron is not the place to be.
13 of Matthew Haig moving himself back up into third place now, getting around the 12 of Cody Brewer. As Brewer tries to get back, not going to happen this time. TJ Hanley up 15 spots. Remember, he was one of the 3 cars that got in the EOL to start this race, and he is certainly making his move. We got another caution here and a few cars involved. Looks like Cody Handler, Kyle Emerson, Alec Luno are going to be involved in this one. You see right there, got really close up ahead between the 54 and was that the 19? Trying to see who that is up at the front there, but it was actually right behind that where the caution happened. The 16 getting into the back of the 17, sends him around. 17 bounced off the wall a little bit. I think he comes down off the wall, but it's a 16 that comes right down across the face of Kyle Emerson. Ooh. And gets him involved as well. 60. Pretty hard impact. 19 maybe gotten involved a little bit there as well. We're going to bring us another caution out. And now, Jimmy, now we're past that halfway point. And if you had any thoughts of, can I make it to the end? Now's a good chance to come in here. You're going to be able to make it to the end from here. But if you already figured you could, do you stay out there to keep the track position? Looks like Dylan Jacobs, Matthew Haig, Cody Brewer are going to do that. TJ Hanley, Dylan Emerson, and William O'Connor are going to leave the track and head down pit road.
I mean, now's the time. I mean, if you're back a little bit, you know, up just a few positions, just to get a couple lap newer tires on your competitors, not a bad call here by some of these drivers, as William O'Connor, Dylan Emerson, TJ Hanley, and Kyle Emerson all down here. And I'll go ahead and bring up the tower so you can kind of see where they're sitting, and they're all in the top 10, all on the lead lap. So the back half of the field that is on the lead lap is going to go ahead and take some fresh tires and get out there. And you can see here Kyle Emerson, some damage on that car, so maybe already has used the fast repairs here for the evening, but at least get some new tires on it, and at least maybe hold just a little bit better getting around here. It's you know, when you see a car that's got some damage like the 60 here, you're wondering how it feels out there, because sometimes the car looks like really bad, like the front end here of the Papa John's machine, you know, but it could just be handling like a dream out there. You never know. I've been in many cars, and you know, taking a good lick, your splitter's all jacked up, and you're pretty much, it handles fine, everything turns fine, just usually down like a mile per hour or so on the straightaways for road racing. So it does make a big difference here. But yeah, the 60 of Kyle Emerson, at least getting some new tires, getting back out there as he works his way around the field, gonna come back in here down the into the pit. So we'll see what he decides to do. We're on lap 61, still single file, probably getting ready to double up here shortly. It's going to be our pole sitters, or actually our top 3 are all back in the top 3. Dylan, Matthew, and Cody all back in starting positions, with Thomas O'Connor in 4th, Kent Bice up in 5th, Dylan Emerson, William O'Connor, TJ Hanley, Tiffany Ellis, and Kyle Emerson for your top 10. And on the lead lap, Richard Covington 1 lap down, and the rest of the field is 2 laps down, all the way back to Cody Handler, which is 3 laps down, and Chase Bullard 3 laps down as well. So a few drivers, a couple laps down, so they'd be hoping for a few more cautions than the rest, or double white here as we head down the backstretch.
Get this thing back underway here as we are in the second half of this race right now for the 110 laps. Pace car lights are out. It'll be in control here for Dylan Jacobs to get him started back up. And Jimmy, since we're in the second half, we only got 9 cars on the lead lap, but we're going to listen to them all roar here as we'll turn it over to a little Siren. I'd love to hear it.
All right, good luck drivers as they come down, pace cars in, and Dylan Jacobs will get on the lapel here shortly, and they do. Let's get some love to hear it. Yeah, we're here, Emma. We're just doing a little bit of love to hear it as obviously the caution came out, and just kind of showing the camera views as things are kind of going on. But yeah, they're back under caution here on lap 68. We'll get back underway, but obviously you can tell things are starting to heat up a little bit. Maybe drivers starting to feel that urge to make sure they get the best finish possible. A lot of drivers making it back to their original positions, and some even progressing forward. So tough break there for a few drivers that have fallen down through the field. So we'll see how they can finish this race here strong, get themselves some good points for that series championship here towards the end.
There's still plenty of race here to go before we end it here in Iowa, but taking a look at the upcoming schedule for the series here, as next week could end up being some different broadcasts. Could be our sister team covering as Jimmy enjoys a little vacation, a little time off. We'll see how it plays out, if it's going to be one person joining me or if it'll be just our sister team covering everything. But we got obviously Iowa here tonight, and next week was going to be the Charlotte Roval, but it was decided that they're not going to do a road course this season. They're going to switch it up, and I think they're still voting and deciding what it's going to be. So I guess a little surprise for next week. Well, you'll see when we see where we're at next week. Then we got the last month in October. We will finish it off with 3 more races. We got Richmond for 120 laps, Worldwide Technology for 90, and then Phoenix will be the season ender with 150 laps. Worldwide Technology, as of right now, is going to be the last themed race of the season. Actually, should actually be next week is one of them, which is going to be Star Wars theme, and then Worldwide Technology is going to be the scary movie theme. But right now, hopefully, even though lights are on here, we're at night. It's dark. Hopefully, it's not too scary for these drivers out here. We can get this thing back to some green flag racing for everyone, as we still got quite a few laps to go of this 110 lap race. We're going to be starting at lap number 70 when we get the green flag.
Yeah, still got 40 great laps to go here, so I know a lot of drivers feeling it, that obviously being in the later half of the race, but still plenty of time to move forward and make up those laps maybe they're down. So, but right now it's going to be Dylan Jacobs and Matthew Hake squaring off for round number 2 on a restart here on lap number 70.
Good restart from both the inside and the outside, but this time it is going to be Matthew Hake getting the jump here. And we got ourselves a new leader as a 13 up to the point. Dylan Jacobs going to have to do a little following. We'll see what that 5 can do now in maybe a little bit of dirty air here, as he's going to have to battle from second place. Third is right now Kent Bice, Cody Brewer, Dylan Emerson for your top 5. TJ Hanley now moving himself into that top 5, getting around Dylan Emerson. Tiffany Ellis moves her way up into the top 10 as she just gets past William O'Connor, but Tiffany going to be back there in 8th. Thomas O'Connor, Richard Covington Jr. for your top 10. But we got another incident, and not sure if did we get a caution for this one here. We are still green. The 21 Richard Covington from the top 10 is going to spin out, and looks like a little damage to the 21 there. We'll take a look and see what happened here. Right there, tries to make a move to the inside, cuts right across the nose. And yeah, that's certainly where the damage is going to come from, right about there. Hard impact, and somehow slides up the track, doesn't get involved with anybody else. But now we are going to have a yellow, as it looks like Josh Duncan involved in an incident himself.
Probably, yeah, it's just oof. So Josh just kind of losing it coming out of the corner, just a little too much gas, bringing that rear end around, and probably good call, good thing it came out, or Richard Covington would have been in some serious trouble, maybe going a lap down here. So saved by the yellow here for tonight so far there for Richard and Josh Duncan. Obviously a little rough break there will get them in and get their vehicle fixed. So this is starting to bring more and more cars back on a lead lap. Obviously everybody that's down there, even Lucky Dogs, are 2 laps. So like Stafford needs 2 cautions. And then Emerson, another 2 cautions. And obviously there's plenty of time left where at least 2 drivers could get back on a lead lap with just cautions. But you can see some of the field coming down pit lane here in the race, and that's not a bad call, especially if you're in the back of the top 10. Hanley, Emerson, O'Connor coming in here and lap 75 over the drivers that are out front. They were in on lap 46, so almost 30 lap newer tires. Yes, please.
Yeah, I don't think I mind that at all. I will gladly go ahead and take that. And yeah, I mean, it's all going to help with the little amount of drivers that are on that lead lap. Again, 9 drivers on that lead lap is not much at all. And even Stafford in 10th place, he is the only one lap down right now. The rest of the field is at least 2 laps down or more. So it's really kind of turning into a 9-car race, maybe even a 10-car race at this point. And you're anywhere in that top 10, you're going to come back out in the top 10, just coming in and taking tires. So to me, it's kind of a no-brainer. It just makes sense. I know we've had quite a few cautions here in the second half of this race, and maybe not so much racing on these tires. But and I guess to throw in another point to that side is the tire fall off hasn't seemed too bad, too terrible for these runs. But new tires just feel so nice.
They do feel nice, especially on short tracks. And if you don't like for driving on short tracks, anytime you can grab new tires, it's a welcome blessing. So we're going to see if those drivers can get them things to use here and move their way through the field without getting entangled in an incident. And then the 13 and the 5 will really need to watch out if they can get those cars underneath them for to move them up to battle with these drivers that have been leading pretty much the entire race. So it's going to be an interesting one here. Obviously, the pit laps, keeping the tires cooler for some of these drivers out front is a big benefit. But it's going to be pace car in this. Nope, next time by. Yeah. So next time by. So we got one to go here. Lights are off on the pace car as they continue to pace here. We're on lap 78 right now. So coming down, getting closer to the end here. And like I said, the driver's really starting to feel that this necessity to get track position and might be trying to push them cars a little bit harder, but still plenty of time to really burn them tires off, and your car is just kind of dookie after that.
Well, we'll see who's got the right strategy here to finish this thing out. I mean, maybe track position ends up being more important than those 30 lap newer tires, but I kind of agree with Jimmy. I'll take those. I guess, sorry, only 29 lap newer tires. So, but maybe that's different. It's only 29 laps.
I thought it would have been 30, then I'm coming in. Yeah. There we go.
Well, we're going to get ready and go back to green here. This time it is new leader Matthew Hake getting it started. You see a little bobble from the outside. A couple cars getting involved. We're going to have another caution as towards the back of the pack. We had cars going sideways. Wow. We are going to stay green. Oh, no, there we go. There is the caution. Just took a little bit for iRacing to catch back up on that, but you've seen just a little bit of an accordion on the outside. A couple cars getting into each other, and eventually we end up getting ourselves a caution with that. Actually, it didn't look like it was the caution. Like it was a 19 sideways.
Yeah, the 19 getting sideways here. And I can stop, and I'll rewind it here. I can see who actually was involved back there. Maybe a bad start there by a few drivers right there. Is at the 24. I think William O'Connor, I think.
I see even all the way up to the 5 there, Dylan Jacobs, just a slow start from everyone on the outside, but maybe a mischief right there for the 24. Kind of backs up that line. You see the 16 backing off a little bit. The 60 hard impact into the back of them, and really kind of shakes it up, gets them loose. Somehow, this didn't bring out the caution though, as the 81 gets slammed into the outside wall. The 16 sideways. There's cars behind him, but we stayed green. This did not bring out the caution. It ended up being the 19 here into turn number 1 of Kelly Akron. Just gets a little bit loose. Maybe thought he was going to drift up there and get into the 17. Turns it down hard, and the back end steps out, and this will end up bringing us right back under another caution.
Yeah, I don't quite get iRacing.
No.
The 19 spun and that did touch one car, and the others got together. So yeah, good save there by the 19. Just ruined his tires just a little bit. But we'll be able to continue going forward here. Other drivers picking up bumpers off the car. You've seen the 81 get involved there of Austin Wells, but still up front is Matthew Hake with Kent Bice and TJ Hanley chasing there for your top three. Dylan Emerson, William O'Connor, Charlie Stafford, Cody Brewer, Thomas O'Connor, Dylan Jacobs, Tiffany Ellis, all on the lead lap. Go ahead and bring the tower up so you can see where your favorite driver sits and how many laps they are down, as there's 10 drivers on the lead lap. I think Covington might be able to get one of his laps back.
And if that's the case, it'll put us to 10 drivers on the lead lap. Looks like he is still down right now. Haven't seen the wave around just yet. Actually, no. Yeah, looks like we do have 10 drivers on the lead lap right now, as Dylan Jacobs is the one towards the back, because Dylan Jacobs lost the lead and thought, you know what, screw it, I need some new tires. And he is going to be at the back of the top 10 right now for this restart. But I don't mind this move, because now, Jimmy, now we're more than 30 laps. Now it's 34 laps. So now I'm getting tires.
Well, you mean you have to make that move sooner or later, because if not, because it takes time, obviously, to get back to where you're at. And Dylan's been fast from the front, from the start, and now he has to get some sort of advantage over Matthew Hake and TJ Hanley, as they were like on that bumper, kind of starting to put some pressure on them, and being the faster, some of the cars out there now. The other drivers were in on lap 75, so TJ Hanley was in on lap 75. So the tires aren't that much newer than some of the drivers out there, but definitely able to catch some newer tires, get out there, and hopefully be able to battle his way back up to the lead.
We'll see how it plays out, as we still got a decent amount of laps left, a little bit under 30 laps to go at this point. But Matthew Hake is the one in the lead here. Kent Bice, TJ Hanley, Dylan Emerson, William O'Connor for your top 5. Cody Brewer, Thomas O'Connor, Tiffany Ellis, Dylan Jacobs, and Charlie Stafford are your top 10. Pace cars in, and Matthew Hake back on that loud pedal, as it looks like everyone's going to get away, at least to the start-finish line. This time we'll head off into turn number 1.
Yeah, it's one thing trying to get a good start here, especially towards the end of the race when people are starting to get a little excited as things are starting to come down to an end. But Matthew Hake with a good start. Some two wide battling back here with Thomas O'Connor and Pete number 7. Midfield battlefield, as I like to call it, is obviously one of the tougher places to be, and usually where you see some of the best racing as far as challenging, the diversity, I guess you could call it, the different levels of racing. Somebody having a bad race, somebody getting new tires up has to come through it. Somebody having a great race, and that's just where they fall. So it is a very difficult part of the field when it comes to like the diversity of drivers, all the skill levels go. Oh, you can see right there the 19, Kelly Arkin getting involved. Yeah, again, the caution will come out with 25 laps to go.
So got into the 7 there of Josh Duncan. Take a look at this thing one more time, and certainly turn 1 not being too favorable here to the 19, as again, there are some wicked bumps in turn number 1, even down on that newer asphalt. And I mentioned it earlier, you catch those bumps the wrong way, it's going to send you shooting up the track. And I feel like this is what happened here. Not sure if it was the bumps, or not sure if maybe Akron's seen the 5 of Jacobs there, maybe looking to the inside and thought it was going to be 3 wide into the corner. But it just seemed like that car really shot straight up, and you see him enter the corner, looks like everything is fine. And then all of a sudden, right there, you see the car just shooting straight up to the right. And I don't know how much of that is Kelly overdriving the corner, or how much that is just getting into those bumps in turn 1. It can easily throw you up there. Looks like the 81 get a little piece of it there. I mean, not too bad. It straightened Akron out there pretty easily, but it's going to bring us under another caution here, and we're now under 25 laps to go. So it's getting down to the nitty gritty, not just not not time just yet, but we talked about those newer tires, and I know Dylan Jacobs moved up a couple spots, and those newer tires starting to move towards the front of the field. Matthew Hake hanging out there. He's got 29 lap older tires than everyone else in that top 10. Can he make it pay off here and give Brittany a little birthday present here from the track?
I mean, it's a tall task and order here. Obviously, the caution's helping immensely, keeping them tires cool, and how, depending on how hard the 13 Matthew was driving that car here tonight, will really play out towards the end here to see how well he can battle with these drivers on the much newer tires. One of the last cars out there with the slightly older tires, but obviously we've seen the amount of cautions here in this late in the race, and hoping they'll be able to get this thing back on the green and get this thing finished out here quickly.
It's Elijah Stallone should get the one to go this time by, and then hopefully these drivers get a little green flag run in them to finish this thing out, as we are down to 22 laps left in this race. It's Matthew Hake at the front, TJ Handley in second, Dylan Emerson, Cody Brewer, William O'Connor, Thomas O'Connor, Tiffany Ellis, Dylan Jacobs, Kent Bice, and Charlie Stafford for your 10 cars on the lead lap. Richard Covington Jr. now only one lap down in 11, so he wouldn't mind seeing one more caution, get him a chance to get up there and mix it up and get himself a top 10 before this thing is over. But the pace car lights are going to turn off here one more time. Hopefully it's the last time we see the pace car here tonight. Finish this thing off under green, as Matthew Hake going to be your control car here once again.
One more lap to go. I just see sometimes you're just waiting for these laps to kind of tick by, and these drivers are getting in their mind, trying to get in the mindset. I need a good start. And I need to stay out of trouble. Let's finish this thing to the end. Let's get some good points here tonight. Obviously, a few drivers making their way extremely high up to the field. Obviously, big moves from TJ and Dylan Emerson from starting towards the back of the field, and then Thomas O'Connor as well, sitting in sixth. But Matthew Hake trying to end this out here after maybe a birthday wish and get the win here tonight. It's going to get started, and okay start, but not a huge jump over the number 27 of TJ Handley this time by, as TJ is going to use the newer tires and run the outside. Can they make it go on? But the yellow is going to come out before any pass was happened. And again, we're back under the golden colors of the yellow flag here at Iowa. I don't even know who it was. I think it was maybe back here.
Again, maybe Thomas O'Connor slid back a few spots.
Yeah, I see Charlie Stafford passing Thomas O'Connor. So we'll switch to the 18 here, see what happened.
Yeah, right there, definitely some contact made. Hard impact in the outside wall for the 18 of Thomas O'Connor. He's going to lose a few spots and lose a fender in the process, as well as things trying to reattach itself. But there you go. Finally, ends up flying off of the 18 there. Going to bring us under another caution. And it's been a little bit rougher second half of the race for the boys and girls here of the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing League. But right there, Richard Covington does not mind this at all, as he is going to keep that 21 wound up tight. He's back on the lead lap now, making 11 now on the lead lap, and he's got a chance for a top 10. And it's got to feel good. And maybe for Anthony Emerson, he's kind of thinking the same thing. I'll take two more cautions to get me back up on that lead lap as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now, obviously, Richard Covington getting that little bit of a buffer with nobody behind him. So, obviously, we're getting the lucky dog and still has the ability to come in and get brand new tires. Obviously, he's got to start from the longest line anyways. So, get in there and get some new tires. Hope for that caution, have some brand new tires, and then really be able to battle it up through the field, you know, at being in, let's see, what name is it, 10th? So, let's see, bring up the tower here. You can see, yeah. So 11 cars on the field here tonight. But Richard Covington is sitting in P number 10 at the moment with the 18 of Thomas O'Connor. Must have been in the pits as he went around. So already gaining one position here under the caution.
Yeah, I'll have to get that back here as he was the wave around the lucky dog. He'll go to the back of the back. But either way, he is, I'm sure, happy to be in at the running for maybe a top 10, but he's gonna have to work around lap cars before he has a chance to get anywhere into that top 10. As currently got 17 to go, it's gonna be 16 to go next time by, so we should get the green flag with 15 laps to go. Jimmy, I know we had quite a few cautions here lately, but either way, it's go time. It's 15 laps to go. We got to start making our way up to the front, and so far, Matthew Hake hasn't had any troubles. He doesn't mind these quick cautions as well because, again, he's got those older tires. Right now, he's making it work. I mean, all he's got to do is just get good starts, hope there's a quick caution, and I get to keep my lead.
Yeah, he's really feeling a lot of pressure, though, from the 27, so maybe he's not too sad about those cautions kind of coming out quickly, as it's helping hold that number one spot here at the end. And you're really seeing those newer tires really kind of rising to the top of the occasion, and the 13 kind of struggling to get that grip down. And it's really kind of amazing how, like, you know, obviously even though we've been under a lot of cautions, how much better some newer tires are here. But to see a 27 blinking in and out there just a little bit, but lights are off in the pace car, coming down through turns number 3 and now entering 4, getting ready to exit. Pace car is in and they're getting ready to go back to green.
Hake, that is going to jump on the loud pedal here as we are back to green flag here at Iowa Speedway. Got a few less cars right now than that started the race, but either way, the racing eyes are at the front right now. TJ Hanley gets a good run out of the corner, and he's going to try and work the outside here around the 13. Not going to happen just yet. Going to settle back in line, almost 3 wide behind him as Dylan Jacobs trying to work his way back up through the field. He is going to look down to the bottom now as TJ Hanley to the outside for the lead. He's going to get a good run off the corner, side-by-side drag race down the backstretch, and slight edge into the corner for the 13, using up that 27 a little bit. He is going to fight tooth and nail for that position, and Hanley into the wall, just driving out of the corner a little bit too hard, got up into those marbles on the outside.
Yeah, I think both drivers driving a little bit hard going down that corner, and 13 leaning on that 27 just a little bit, and it kind of got the 27 a little squirrely and made him touch that wall just a little bit, and hitting the wall here is kind of like dragging that emergency brake just a little bit, but right back up on the bumper here with 12 laps to go.
We've got certainly a battle brewing here as Hake still in the lead. TJ Hanley back to the rear bumper here once again. The 12 of Cody Brewer keeping an eye on the situation, as well as a 13 sideways into the corner. And somehow he saves it, straightens it out. TJ Hanley almost got taken out a couple times as a 13 still trying to get those tires back under him. We'll have to keep an eye on that 13 if he's going to be able to handle it through the next corner, but we're going to take a break because we got another caution here. Looks like Alec Luno going to be involved in this one, went off track. And we are back under caution flag here as the 81 up into the 16 there pretty hard there. Austin Wells gets into the 16 of Alec Luno, gets him sideways. I'll bring out another caution. It'll take us under 10 laps to go.
You really tell that the drivers are really trying to drive these cars just a little bit harder than they have been for the majority of this race. But yeah, definitely a tough one here as it's ending. But like I said, some of them drivers really not minding too much. Obviously, Richard Covington didn't mind as he's at the back tail end of this lead lap with 10 laps to go. can get it. You can get fresh tires and have the freshest tires of the night, and maybe be able to get another few spots back after being a few laps down just not too long ago. That 21 probably has that ability to kind of get there. And you see a few drivers also coming in, Matthew Hake and William O'Connor. So obviously, I think the 13 is finally throwing in the towel and saying these old tires are just not cutting it.
Yeah, I mean, he held on as long as he could at the front of the field, but you could clearly see that the newer tires were better. But now he's got a shot with his newer tires. He's going to come back out, and he'll be in what looks like, I believe, the top 11 here with the freshest tires in the field, as well as William O'Connor coming in as well. So we'll see if that 13 still has time to make it up through there. He's going to need this thing to stay green for any kind of shot at this, but it's going to put Cody Brewer at the front of this field. Dylan Emerson, TJ Hanley, Dylan Jacobs, Tiffany Ellis for your top 5. Kent Bice, Charlie Stafford, Thomas O'Connor, Richard Covington Jr., and Matthew Hake for your top 10. William O'Connor back there in 11th, the last car on the lead lap. But I believe, again, Anthony Emerson got one of his laps back. Would not mind one more caution to try and get him up there with a chance.
I definitely wouldn't mind getting one of those laps back, and obviously you see they're taking advantage of getting the lucky dog coming in and probably getting some new tires here for that car, and has a lot of work to do and a lot of needs a little bit of help from the rest of the field to do poorly so that he can make his way up to those cars and get another chance here before the night is over. But Cody Brewer, the one on the bubble here tonight, leading the way in the final lap. The laps winding down here as Dylan Emerson, TJ Hanley, and Dylan Jacobs and Tiffany Ellis for your top 5. Kent Bice, Charlie Stafford, Thomas O'Connor, Richard Covington Jr., Matthew Hake for your top 10, and then you have William O'Connor there, and for your 11 cars that are on the lead lap. Rest of the field is going to be you see Emerson, Anthony Emerson, Kelly Akron, Austin Wells, Alec Luano, Chase Bullard, Cody Handler, Kyle Emerson, Josh Duncan, and Ron Milan. For your 20 car field here, only two drivers dropping out for the night, Duncan and Miller. So we'll see them next week, I'm sure. But for tonight, just not having the race they want.
Now, and it happens, and Iowa, again, it's not the easiest track to get around here. It's a short track. It's not your typical half-mile short track, but it is still a short track, and it can be really tough here. With heck, you could have 2 cars out here. You could just be out here by yourself, and it could be a tough little track. So it's going to happen. It's going to eat up some of these drivers here. But either way, we still got plenty of drivers out there running around. It looks like 18 cars out of the initial 20 still out there, with only Josh Duncan and Ron Millam out of the race, but only 11 cars on the lead lap for now. Anthony Emerson still hoping he can be that 12th before this thing is over, but gonna need some help. And I'm sure that's not what Cody Brewer wants to do right now. He doesn't want to help anybody but himself, as he is going to be the first one to get on that loud pedal, get us back to racing, and that's exactly what's going to happen here, as we got a good restart from the 12 and the rest of the field heading off into turn number 1. Keep an eye on that 13, because the 13 of Matthew Hake's going to want to try and get up through this field as quick as possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars, a lot of decent cars to get by here too. As these other cars have work their way to the field to be in this position here at the end. But obviously newer tires, and you see the 3-4 wide already trying to move around and get things work, get that car wound up and get some momentum going, let the cars around them kind of get going. But settling right there in P number 10. So not a huge loss here tonight, but obviously maybe a little disappointing at the moment. We're on 5 laps to go, and Cody Brewer is in the lead with Dylan Emerson, TJ Hanley battling out for P number 2. Anthony Emerson has crashed. We've got 4 laps to go. We're still green as he's parked out in turn number 4. He's going to jump into the pits and keep this thing under green. So we're still good to go here. Emerson heavy hit. We'll take a look at that here at the end if caution does not come out before then. But Cody Brewer loving to see the battle behind him.
Cody Brewer would love to see that checkered flag as well, and become the 7th different driver to win this season. He has yet to grab a checkered flag here in the 12. TJ Hanley wants to get up there. He wants to be a 4-time winner here on this series, but he is not able to cut into the lead at all. And we could have another caution. We do, as the 5 and the 88 get involved here on the front stretch. We'll take a look back and see what brought that out, but both Jacobs and Tiffany Ellis getting involved in this one here, as you kind of seen it live. But right here, looks like the 5 drifts up into the wall and really bounced off that wall hard, straight across the nose of Ellis. And it's going to bring us under a late caution here. Unfortunately for Anthony Emerson, he's not out there. He got that meatball, not going to get back on the lead lap, but it's going to re-rack everything. And Cody Brewer's got to be just pounding the steering wheel here, because he had a nice lead there. Looked like he was cruising. The 6 and the 27 were doing battle amongst each other, not with him. But now he's going to have to try and do it all over again.
Yeah, so TJ Haley out front, or not out front, up front with Cody Brewer and Dylan Emerson, obviously, but Kent Bice sitting there in 4th. And, we talked about the 21 being able to get in there at the end and get some newer tires. Look where he's sitting right now, Carl, up in 5th spot, up 14 spots. So from being 2 laps down for quite some time to kind of be able to get out there and get the battle and have the newer tires, like I said, plays big dividends here. 3 laps to go. Can the 21 make some more spots? Can the 21 get on the podium here tonight? We will see as we are starting to wind this thing out. We will hopefully get these next 3 laps good to go here next time. Well, not next time by, but when we go back, as we're going to put in a few extra laps here as they pace around, getting ready to go back to green.
Yeah, we are in overtime here at Iowa, as we had 100% fuel, and they're using every bit of that and then some here tonight, as we are going to see who's going to get this thing done with more than 110 laps on the docket. The pace car lights are still on, should be turning off this time by, and we'll see if Cody Brewer can get this thing done. TJ Hanley, Dylan Emerson, Kent Bice in those first 2 rows. Richard Covington trying to make the ultimate comeback here tonight. Charlie Stafford, Thomas O'Connor trying to go back-to-back. Matthew Hake trying to work his way back up through the field with his newer tires. William O'Connor, Tiffany Ellis, and Dylan Jacobs, your 11 cars on the lead lap. This is it's getting interesting. It looks like TJ Hanley maybe trying to cool off the tires a little bit, or maybe just trying to make the track a little dirty in a turn number 1.
Save fuel. I don't know. Maybe he just had an itch.
It happens, and maybe he was. I don't know. I'm not even gonna speculate. Maybe he just got a little bored and didn't want to go through the grass there a little bit, or maybe he had to do a little lawn maintenance before we're done here.
So he missed the clipping.
Iowa. Well, either way, it's gonna be. It should be getting the one to go this next time by here, as Cody Brewer is gonna lead him to the green, white, checkered, and we will have, trying to see how many we got. Just 1 green, white, checkered here tonight. But this is the one and only attempt. This is going to be the last restart of the race, regardless of what happens, as looks like TJ Hanley going to do a little bit more lawn maintenance here on the front.
It's fuel mileage, I'm telling you. They're overtime, Carl. They are 4 laps over right now. So it's definitely it could be the case here. Is obviously some drivers trying to cut things a little bit closer. And obviously we've heard of in the past you run into the grass, maybe cools down the tires a little bit. I don't know how true that is, but anybody will try whatever they need to do to try to get the win here. As obviously the 27 coming pretty far back in the field here tonight. So up there in near that top spot, trying to get that win here. But Cody Brewer's going to have to fend him off here for just a few more laps. Needs a good start here, so got to keep that 27 on their toes. And then you got the 6 of Emerson and Richard Covington, obviously with them newer tires right back there in P number 5. So down that inside. What can we do here tonight? Let's see. Let's get a good finish here and finish this thing. Everybody spreads out here early as we get back under green. Got some pushing going on as that 21 is really behind number 6, trying to get things going. We're going to go down into turns 1 and 2, come out of 2. It looks like the 6 has got the edge over the 1, but barely. So trying to hold that on back up front. TJ Hanley holding on to that outside. But the 12 pushing it deep.
Side by side, white
White
flag
flag.
in the air. Give the edge to the 27 of TJ Hanley, looking for win number 4 in the season. Cody Brewer looking to crack through and get his first win of the season. Still side by side, out of the corner, the edge, off the corner, maybe slightly to Cody Brewer. Who's going to drive it harder into 3? The 12 leaning on the 27 a little bit. Out of the corner, TJ Hanley blinking a little bit and off into the wall. So it's going to be Cody Brewer getting it done here in the 12. Getting his first win of the season. TJ Hanley is going to rim ride to get the second spot here. How about the 21 of Richard Covington? He's going to get himself an interview here tonight in the top 3. Kent Bice just on the outside of the top 3 as he's going to finish up there in 4th position. But either way, a good run for the 1. Dylan Emerson, Thomas O'Connor, William O'Connor, Charlie Stafford, Dylan Jacobs, Matthew Haig for your top 10. But man, I mean, you look at Cody Brewer, start up there in 3rd position, finish in 1st. Just about everybody else in the top 6 is up at least 10 positions. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Kent Bice is only up 6, but TJ Hanley up 15, Richard Covington up 16. Both those drivers started at the back of the field here tonight. Dylan Emerson up 11, Thomas O'Connor up 12. Pretty amazing what tonight showed us here all the way at the end, but it's going to be the 12 of Cody Brewer that gets to celebrate the best.
Yeah, and the right spot, right time, and obviously tire, and just kind of it becomes that chess game with like when to come in, when to get tires. A lot of these drivers lucked out when they got got to trap so many drivers laps down because the green flag pit stops were happening, and just a few decided to stay out just that little bit longer, and the caution did come out like we talked about how it's a danger on short tracks to with so much fuel to come in early for them newer tires, and the short pit would have worked and obviously would have found themselves out front, but on the lead on the same lap at some point, but definitely paid out for those that decided to stay out here tonight to stay up front. But some of those coming back and getting back on the lead lap, getting back to their positions and battling for the front there. But so good run here tonight. Congratulations to Cody Brewer and the rest of the gang and the rest of the field here as well for putting on a great race. Thanks to all the fans out there, but definitely looking forward to talking to these drivers and see how their race really went for them.
Well, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into it here as we got all 3 out there. Before we do, though, I want to send a thank you out to our series sponsor, TDM Motorsports, and also a thank you out to all the fans out there in CRN Nation. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But we'll go ahead and start our interviews here tonight, and we're going to start with our 3rd place finisher here, the 21 of Richard Covington Jr. Doughboy. You were down 2 laps kind of late in this race, second half of this race, and it looked like you were stuck there. I mean, 2 laps down with a couple drivers in front of you that were only a single lap down, or at least in front of you to get those lucky dogs before you. It had to feel hopeless for quite some time.
It was very hopeless for a little bit there. I think I went 2 laps down 2 times and fought my way back up is the best I can say.
Yeah, I mean, it had some nice new tires there towards the end, which helped you drive up through that field. I mean, with everything that went on with the race for you throughout the entire race, you had to feel like on those last couple of restarts, looking at the drivers in front of you, looking at the positions that you could get. I mean, you had to be licking your chops.
I was more or less being patient just to make sure I didn't get caught up in anything, which I still did. But, I mean, I did what I could. That's all I can say.
Well, you did enough to get yourself from 2 laps down to the podium here tonight. So heck of a battle back. Great job. Congratulations from us up here in the booth. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
First, Cody. He's, the one that runs the lead. He's great. Thomas, Josh, they did pretty good. Feel bad for them. And Mom and Dad, they're watching the race right now. So, and I think that's it.
All right, buddy. Well, take some time, take a breather after this one. You certainly earned it after the battle back here, and great job just kind of sticking with it and fighting your way back to get yourself a top 3. So celebrate, and we'll see you next week. See what you can do. Maybe a little bit better showing for next week for you.
I hope so.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 21 of Richard Covington Jr., also known as Doughboy here in the Discord. Second place tonight, not for lack of effort, Jimmy, is going to be the 27 of TJ Hanley.
TJ, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Jimmy and Carl, I hope we put on a show for y'all because it felt like a magnificent end to the night.
Well, you definitely had your hands full here tonight as starting towards the back of the field and then staying out there, getting lucky and being able to trap so many cars down and fighting for the win here at the end. But obviously tires coming into play just a little bit, and then you had your hands full with the continuous amount of cautions that kind of came out, and people behind you or around you starting to get the equal tires or better tires. So definitely had your hands full there to try to get this second place win. Give us a rundown on how everything was for you, starting in the back and working your way through the front here tonight.
Well, truth be told, I kind of treated this like the old Iowa because this is actually the first race I've ran on this new Iowa with the patchworks and whatnot. So I just kind of treat it like the old one where, yeah, running the bottom is the fastest way around, and I know that, but like you get momentum off that second lane, and you're nice and patient. You can get a run. And that's what I was doing in the first portion, was just kind of biding my time. And eventually I figured out you could just keep it in fourth gear. You didn't have to downshift from fifth. I was like, ooh, well, this is pretty nice. And so I just started staying in fourth gear the entire time, and was really helpful on the restarts as well, quite honestly, because, yeah, even though you're going down the front stretch into turn one and just going, like that, it honestly was like, it was fine because it was just like, oh, when he does that for like a second and then you're lifting because you got to make the corner. But oh man, that was fun. We got to put Iowa back. That was fun. I got to do more Iowa with the next years. That was fun.
Yeah, you had your hands full of riding the wall there, coming to the end to get that, that second place finish.
That's how it should be done. Like, credit to the 5, credit to the 13, credit to the 12. Like, that's how you get it done. That's how you race. And I wish so many people would understand that. That was beating and banging. That wasn't us mad at one another. I'm not mad at Cody, and I'm not mad at 13. That's racing. Like, I kept him tight on the bottom. What they do, they're like, all right, give me some elbow room. I'm like, I'll give you a little bit of, I'll let you elbow me a little bit. That's how it's supposed to be done, boys and girls. That's the kind of show we put on. And I love it. Everybody is just so respectful. Even when there is an accident, somebody's always on the mic saying, hey, my bad, I messed up. And if you don't hear them, that's probably because they don't realize they did mess up. But that's okay. We're here to learn. That's what it should be about. What a great night for the league, for this. And I'm sorry for all the cautions. I do apologize on that behalf because I don't think any of us really wanted that. But at the same time, when you looked at that first stint on the fuel strategy that everybody was playing was like 33 lap run, or do we want to hit halfway? And I'm sorry that didn't pan out, but at the same time, it was nice having a long run. I know we were playing precautions, but this is a very positive night in my opinion, but I also finished third, or second. I finished second, didn't I? Yeah. I finished top 3. So my perspective is a little swayed to the higher end of that, but man, that was fun. I loved it. I hope we put on a show for y'all and for everybody who was watching, because that was fun from the driver's seat.
Yeah, you guys definitely had that nice green flag run, and then ingrained in everybody's head. Obviously, rough beginning start there for some, but they will allow everybody to kind of come back, get back together, had that nice run there, and then that's when everybody's thinking about fuel and tires and whatnot, and that's it kind of goes out the window sometimes. But obviously, it's kind of fun to watch how people use them cautions and when to take tires, to make that chess move, to try to get a great finish here tonight. You were able to do that. You walk away here with the podium finish and up 15 spots from your start here tonight. So we want to say congratulations up here in the booth. Give you a little bit of time for any shouts you might have in at number 27.
Oh boy. Thank you to everybody who is a TH Designs driver. Gary, Justin, Jay, Aiden. Congrats to Aiden. He won the championship. I know Justin came up short. I know we got Saul, David, and Kaido. They've just recently joined. Thank y'all for joining. And I know I owe a lot of paint schemes, but bear with me, y'all. I'm working on like building fences, and then I'm going to get y'all's paint schemes done. That being said, TH Designs, your vision is my job to make it a reality. So please come on by, shoot me a message. If you don't know where to find me, Facebook, Twitter, I'm still going to call it Twitter. I'm freaking boomer age. I'm still going to call it Twitter.
Boomer.
That sounds like a boomer. Yeah, that's me. But you're going to look pretty, because I got to be honest with y'all. You go faster when you look and feel fast. So you're bound to drive better, right? Nevertheless, I hope everyone
look fast, go fast.
Exactly. Look fast, go fast, feel fast. Like, let's go. Thank y'all for putting this on tonight. I do appreciate it. Always appreciative of y'all putting in the time to look into to do this. Thank you to everyone who joined in the race tonight. I think we had 20 start. But thank y'all. I really do appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate the shout outs, and yeah, get them designs on. If y'all are looking for any kind of liveries, look up TJ Hanley. Might be behind a little bit, but he'll get you all caught up and get you a good looking paint scheme out there. Maybe a special banner gives you a +5 horsepower or something, and it can really make them cars zoom around here. But again, congratulations on that second place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you, boys.
Yes, sir.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 27 of TJ Handley. Top spot here tonight is going to go to the 12 of Cody Brewer. And Cody, I guess, a 13, 14 race into the season, the best way to describe this is it's about damn time.
Yeah. I wish I was talking to you guys last week before I decided to take myself out in a green and white checkered, but yeah.
It can happen, especially they're at what was it last week? Is it Dover last week? Yeah, Dover. Dover can do that to you, and you had a little bit of extra pressure there with the newer tires. And tonight you were one of the cars with the newer tires, but it wasn't without a battle. And I gotta imagine before that last caution there, you had to be thinking, I got this. I got a nice little lead here. They're doing some battling behind me, side by side. They're not bothering with me. I'm going to run this thing. I'm finally going to get myself a win. All of a sudden, lo and behold, caution comes out.
Yeah, no, I backed the pace off once I seen it was, I think, right around a second or something like that. I backed the pace down just so I didn't make a mistake, and then needed to come around one more time just to take the white, and then caution came out, and I just thought, oh, here we go again.
And I mean, what had to be going through your mind? I mean, one, it's the caution comes out, but you're still the control car. You're still the one that can dictate when you guys start. But then all of a sudden, you start the race, and TJ's not exactly leaving your side too much.
Yeah, I knew if I could keep the bottom, that I could kind of, if I had to, kind of run up a little bit into the corner, make him lift a little bit. But then he was able to stick to me so close I couldn't pick up the throttle. That's why going into 3 and 4 there on the last lap, I was like, I have to enter high up here, because if I enter low, he's going to get a run, and I'm not going to, sideswipe or take him out for the win. So I was like, if I enter high, maybe he'll have to lift. And when I seen his hood was about at my door on entry, I was like, I think I got him on exit. Then I heard him lift, and I was like, and I knew from there that there was nothing he could do.
Well, you finally get it done. It took you, till pretty late in the season here, but you get your first win of the season. I know it might not have been the season you would have liked to see here so far. Almost had the win last week, but you crack through and get it here tonight, late in the night. Good qualifying effort. So you had the speed, but it certainly took some caution avoidance and even some good hard battling there at the end to get your win. So congrats on the win here tonight. Before we let you go and get out of here and celebrate, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just the whole TDM race team, Giggles, Dylan, Tiffany, Kelly, all of us. We all work really well together and help everybody get ready for the race every week. And then Dylan again for the paint scheme and invite me to this league, and Cody and everybody for running it. And you guys for broadcasting.
Well, I appreciate that for sure, and it was definitely a good broadcast and some fun for us up here in the booth. So, congrats again on the win. We'll let you go celebrate, and I guess we'll see you wherever we see you next week. Since I don't know if the track was decided yet for you guys. It was the Roval, but it's up in the air right now. So maybe we'll see you back to back, because who knows? Maybe we'll be back here at Iowa again for all I know. But take some time, celebrate this, and we'll see you next week.
So yeah, hopefully I'm talking to you guys again in a week.
Absolutely, buddy. That is your winner here tonight. The 12 of Cody Brewer finally getting it done. Great race here at the end. I know it was a little caution filled in the second half of the race, but it gave us a good hard run with the green-white checkered right there at the end. So love to see it and love the camaraderie and the fun that these drivers had out here. I certainly had some fun up here in the booth. Hopefully you out there in Sierra Nation did as well. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer, and it also helps get their their name up there in the algorithm a little bit for anyone searching for some good iRacing leagues and some good coverage out there as well. But it was a fun one here. We'll see you wherever we see you next week. But for myself and Jimmy here from Iowa Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.